Bread Flaves blog?
Bread
Face blog?
That is an enrapturing Instagram account. I
Yeah,
love
she's
Instagram
stunning.
accounts where I can just sit and watch, like, just kill mad time. Like I don't like, it's part of my life. It's like I guess I'm like in a little bit of a privileged situation at this point, because I, like, a good chunk of my existence is based on Instagram.
Like,
So
you
I
live
can
online.
literally be on Instagram and be like, fuck it, I'm working. Like, this is my job,
Yeah.
which is cool. But like, like, I definitely go on a lot of tangents. Like the the research aspect of things definitely turns into
You file that under industry research.
That's what I try to do when I rationalize it to other people that are like, what the fuck do you do with your life? And then, but that quickly slides into me watching videos of like a lady smushing her face in bread. And
I think that's like that files perfectly into that cabinet of like industry research. Bread Face blog. Like,
Yeah.
she is a perfect case study of like Instagram and food intersecting into something just like ridiculous and like profitable at the same time.
Exactly.
We spent a bit of time like looking at that Instagram account, and I don't even know how many followers she has. Like, how many does she have?
Can we pull it
take
up?
a look at it right now. Yeah, but she has like a shitload, and she's sponsored by quite a few notable bread brands.
Imagine getting sponsored by bread. Like,
That's a whole
fuck all this other
untapped
shit.
market. Yeah, like Wonder Bread has so much money, and they're okay. Let's see what's bread.
Daniel, like fucking
Okay.
Daniel Wellington. Like,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
get sponsored by Wonder Bread out here. Like, I will be good. I am set.
She has 200K.
So 200. What does 200K get you? Like, what sponsors does 200K get you?
I'm not sure. Let's take a look. So I'm gonna open up this like random thing. So Zach the Baker is somebody that she's posted.
Shout out Zach the Baker.
I don't know who that is. They are a bread company, I guess. So maybe right now her clientele is mostly independent bread bakeries. I really don't know how
Independent
this
bread.
functions. I don't know how this works as a company, to be honest.
Why
but
does it sound like a rap label?
independent bread bakeries? I don't know, but she's on the rise. Didn't.
No pun intended. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's all I have to say about the topic.
So, like, just in general, like, I feel like food has always been a culture. There's always been a food culture.
Yeah.
It existed long before Instagram, but like in the last 5 years, let's say, shit has gotten mad wild, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact timeline personally, but 5 years is sounds about right. It's
Yeah.
added like an entire other dimension to food. Like food blogging in itself is such a common term now that like I don't know how many years ago, but you wouldn't know what that is.
Right.
Like what is food blogging? You're talking about food and making money about it. You get to go
Yeah,
out and like
exactly.
eat different things and just like say whether you enjoy it or not, and that's how you pay your light bill. That's crazy.
Exactly. Like, I feel like, like scroll back like 15, 20 years, and it's literally like a handful of people that are like food critics that write for maybe like a major magazine or newspaper. And that's who has a say about like what
It
food
dictates,
is.
yeah, what
and now like
people like.
there's like mad independents like that just start up, and like, whether it's like a blog or an Instagram account or whatever, and they're just out here like dictating what people are eating, right? Like,
You don't even have to be a good writer.
you don't have to write
I think
anything.
it's mostly about pictures. It's very visual.
It's
With,
super
like
visual.
so blogs definitely was like the first step, and then I think it slowly transferred onto Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think the first time that I started noticing Instagram as like a platform for food specifically was with latte art.
Latte art.
Yes. So that's like a term that we're all really common with now. But back in the day it was like, wait, why is this girl
It's a gateway drug of like internet food culture, right? Like,
Yes.
it's just like, it just popped off. Like, people are like, oh, like this latte looks dope. Let me pull out my iPhone 3GS and take like a little aerial photo of this shit, and then like
let me get the little tip of the croissant in there.
Yeah, just slide a little tip,
bit,
and maybe
it's not the focal point.
my Go Yard wallet like on the other on the other corner. and then in major markets, I guess like what city do you think the first like latte like Instagram account popped up? I'm gonna say New York or Seattle.
I'm gonna say Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no way to check that, but
there's no way to verify. That's just pulling it out of my ass completely. Yeah, that's not a fact. But for sure, like latte art. I mean, for instance, like something that's really interesting. There's a guy named Stuart Ross. He's a pretty well-known barista in Toronto, and he was one of the first people to bring like the rainbow latte to Toronto.
What is a rainbow latte?
It's like a latte with a lot of food coloring in it, but it's it's like a beautiful design made of different colors.
Word.
And it's incredibly Instagrammable. You can actually get them now at his new spot, Bulldog Coffee, which is like in Assembly Chef's Hall.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's like beautiful, and I feel like, there are careers that can be made because your product is incredibly Instagrammable. So
it's picture worthy, right?
Yes, that's an example.
And this is like on both sides of the thing. This is like I mean, we started out talking about like food critics or whatever you want to call it, but on the other side, it's like literally people that are also like the food producers that like you can make a living off of just like how food looks now. Like it's just like literally Instagrammable coffee, Instagrammable, I don't know, ice cream, sandwiches, whatever.
Yes.
Like if the shit looks like it's popping, like that is worth it in itself.
I mean, that must be weird for restaurants, because now restaurants who are already concerned about like their own profit now have to target certain individuals who in themselves are making money or like have a strong, a social, what do you call that? Like the
influencers.
Yeah, an influencer, those guys with social capital is what I was trying to say. Like those people. So now they have to think about those salespeople, because those are salesmen now, right? Like those are people selling you shit. So
salespeople.
Sales folk.
Sales folk.
So sales folks with an X, to be specific.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So like, what I'm trying to say is like I think that there's a whole nother level of stress or just another level of expectation that people put on restaurants, that not only does the food have to be good, but to a degree it has to be something that you can share online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do you think that like fits into the order of like I guess priorities if you're starting a food business? Like I feel like, again, like going back into historical times, like pre 2011, I guess, like you're starting a food business, you're thinking like, does my food taste good? Does it, I mean, like I'm sure you thought about, does it look good? But like you're thinking about like
the basics.
You're thinking about the basics, right?
Yeah.
Now, like knowing that you can like literally make a viable food business just off like how Instagrammable it is, like where do you think that fits into the hierarchy? Because we also see like how established businesses like play into the whole Instagram thing, like by like maybe it's a business that existed prior to Instagram, but now they're offering like an Instagrammable product to like capitalize on like what's going on. But like where does that fit into the hierarchy, do you think?
I just think it makes it hard for new businesses.
It makes it harder.
Yeah,
Word.
like for new businesses to come up and succeed. I think there was a study, like it's horrible, I don't have these numbers on me, but like the success rate of new entrepreneurs in Toronto, like trying to start food businesses, like either they take off or there's like a 70% chance or some crazy bullshit that they just flop and lose all their money. And it's because like you can't really start off a business having enough capital to have good ingredients and make an interior incredible. Like have your interior look amazing and have your have your plating and everything be just on point right within the first 2 weeks of your opening.
That's a good point.
And that will really set you back.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of shitty, because then you get a lot of places that have that capital already.
Right.
And they come out and they have a gorgeous interior and reclaimed wood tables and all that jazz, like nice natural lighting, but the food is shit. Like I'm trying to think of can you think of one place off the top of your head where you're like, not only is the interior amazing but the food is mind-blowing?
Mind-blowing is a little bit
your
of
go-to is there a spot where you're like, okay, this is my go-to?
I like in Toronto, I really like Bar Isabel, like that's one place
Yeah.
like that pops off like right off the top. That's like
For sure.
the interior is amazing. The food is really good. I wouldn't say mind blowing. No shade thrown here, but
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, it gets a check mark in both boxes. So
Yes. I think
is that the only one?
I mean, I'm sure given a little bit more time, I could pop up, like I could think
Couple,
of a few
yeah.
more. But my favorite places are spots that have shitty interiors.
Word,
Honestly,
word.
like that look horrible from the inside.
Word.
Usually, because
Yeah.
how can you, like, if you're just a regular mom and pop business, how can you concentrate on both?
That's a great point, you know?
But then again, that's not excusing chefs from, you know, like allowing your shit to be unpresentable and not thinking about your presentation. Like, you got to think about that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But just to balance the both and like to keep Instagrammers happy and regular people who want to have a proper meal without paying $15 for a fucking bowl with like 80 different colors in it and like
Yeah.
the freshest avocado you could possibly find, but have it just taste like a bland bowl of nothing.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, there's still something to be said for that, like, that mom and pop aesthetic as well. Like, I actually love eating a meal in a place that just looks like shit and the food is dope, you know, and you're just like, you just know it's an authentic find, you know. And
Takeout counters even.
Takeout counters,
Yeah.
you know. Shout out to City Fried Chicken at Darlin Station. Bang bang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like one of the joints that comes to mind.
us on.
It looks, again, like no shade thrown here, but it looks like trash. But it's like pretty. it's pretty good.
They're
fried
gonna see you
chicken.
coming down the street and be like, "Fuck this guy."
They
Lock
don't know.
the door.
They won't
Jamie's
put
here.
they won't put two and two together.
Okay.
They don't know me like that, so it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, if you're ever at Darlin Station, you want some fried chicken, go check it out. But yeah, like it's
I mean, like most Chinese spots,
most Chinese
like
spots.
all my favorite spots, like
Yeah.
they just kind of, you know, I'm sure everyone knows Swatao on Spadina.
Love Swatao.
It's one of those places. Like they have really good food, and the inside.
They know me there. They like the guy. He's like, brother. Every time I walk in, he's like, brother, and he's just like ready for me. I'm like, I love
he
it.
does the same thing to me. He also says
Calls
that
you
to
brother?
me. Yeah, when I walk in the door, that's also what he says. So it's not just you.
It's not just me. I'm not special.
It's like fluorescent lighting.
Yeah, it's.
The table
It's
is like
whatever.
plastic covering, whatever.
I mean, like, I feel like a lot of like what Asian culture brought to the game was like they mastered efficiency. Like it's just like you just order by like number, and it's just like they have it ready
Yeah.
for you to go. And like a lot of these places don't put a lot of thought and effort into presentation, but it's like the most efficient system ever. So like
Yeah.
I guess you know, you get a pass.
It's a sense of effortlessness that I miss.
Effortlessness.
Effortlessness.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
like I just don't want to feel like you're trying too hard for my business, because then it makes me feel like you're hiding something. Is that weird?
That's actually a really good point. Like it almost makes you feel like you almost expect like to be let down, or it's like because
It's
you
something
know when
weird psychologically that happens
Yeah.
to me, where I'm just like, there's something going on.
because you know
I'm
when
not
it's
used
like
to this.
you know when it's like mad Instagrammable, you're paying for that shit. You're paying for the branding. You're paying for that neon sign like on the back wall. You're paying for like the fancy like colors and like fancy plating that they're putting down. So
Precisely. It falsifies the relationship in a sense, because it's no longer about like you just caring that I like the food. It's
Yeah.
also that you're like, hey, put this up on your Instagram because I know that's gonna look good on me.
yeah,
And I'm making this neon sign look extra bright because I want to outshine the competition
Absolutely.
on all the other blogs.
absolutely.
And that's not cute. Like, I don't know.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Like, so.
But let's rein it back in. It's like obviously working. Like it's obviously a thing. Like
Yeah.
it's not just Instagram. It's like across apps. It's like you have Yelp. I know Yelp has been around for years, but I mean like that's also another place where now it's literally like a visual experience. Like you're
Yeah.
not even looking at reviews half the time. You're just looking at like, oh shit, let me see how many stars it got, and then let me look at what all the pictures look like, and you're just scrolling through all this
The
whole
crappy
feed
photos
of, like,
on these like
crappy
shit
exactly.
old Samsungs.
So, and that brings it.
I don't know.
Shots fired.
I have an Android.
Shots fired.
It's all good.
Android all day, gang
Yeah.
gang. Like, and that brings up a whole other point. Like, what is your first memory of like sitting down to eat with somebody and they're like, wait, it's always a classic moment, like, don't touch anything yet, and then they pull out like a phone, or in some cases a camera, and proceed to hover over the table and move some things around slightly and then take a picture. Like, what's your first memory of that happening?
It's a very distinct memory. I'm not gonna name names, but it was, me and
name names.
no,
Name names.
it was me and a friend, like a friend from like way back, and we were meeting for the first time in a really long time, and we went out for coffee somewhere on Spadina. It was like, I forget the name of that coffee shop. It's the one where you go where you go upstairs and it's tiny. It's like a little literal bar.
Yeah.
And you look out the window. Do you remember what that's called? We've been there before. It's okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
It's like really not that special.
Okay.
But we were just talking and we were like having a really, I don't know, like a catch-up conversation. Like it had been years.
Yeah.
And chick, like, she stops the conversation, like full stop the conversation.
She's like, shh, don't talk.
It was just like, and she just, she kind of arranges it, and I'm really looking at her like, what's going on? And I'm like kind of curious. I'm like, okay, are you okay? Symmetry. I see what's happening. And then the phone came out, went on top, a little snap, and she's short. She like stood up. She like had to like peer over her phone, and I was like, this is a whole process. She could like, you knew that she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Because she'd done it 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
And she's since done it 1,000 times since, and she probably won't stop. And
amazing.
It's truly a gateway drug. Like, yeah, I feel
Once-
like if
once
she
you're
doesn't
in
do
there,
it, she's probably like really
Like itching
scratching.
for it. She's like, oh my God, let me take a picture.
Yeah, it's like 2 types of caffeine. It's like the coffee and the need to take a picture of the coffee. It's like 2 fiends at one time.
Yo, my favorite one is like people that stand on chairs, because that's like
For real.
because now it's like everyone's taking pictures of every food. So like all you got to do is like watch for like where the wait staff is going, and then like 30 seconds after they hit the table, like the phones are out and they're doing it. But like there's the odd person that like takes it to that next level by standing on the chair to get like the full top down.
It's so horrible. That person's
stop,
not gonna make it.
Stop it. Like stop everything. You know?
It's like a sport.
Shut down.
There's a form to everything. You can perfect the form. Yeah, like there's a way to do it where it's just quick.
Flick of the wrist.
Yeah, flick of the wrist. Just one time. That's all you need. You don't need to step on the chair to do it.
No, but maybe you do. Because this is my, like, if you're gonna do it.
Go all out.
Okay, this is a photographer in me coming out. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, it's that extra effort. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like every photo I take, I'm just like, I'm just like holding the camera like with one hand, just like click, like busting mad shots out here. Like, it's like put some effort into it, like set it up. Like, if you're actually gonna do it, and especially like if you're like, let's say you're starting out and you're like, yo, I want to build up my food Instagram over here. Bring some props to the restaurant. Like just go all out. Like just like make this a thing. Like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You gotta go all out.
I absolutely agree. And like, take a look at Breadface blog. She really went all out. She did that. She really did that.
And it worked out.
And I agree. But she was like one of the few. So I think that I'm really just hating at the end of the day, because I think it looks fucking stupid. That's what it is. Yeah, you're right. Go like with conviction. Anything done with conviction, I will get behind it. But you just look stupid.
So that's like an overall. That's like an underlying message to creatives out there. Like, go hard or don't go at all. Right? Like.
Yeah, unless everybody else is going just as hard, and then slowly that's just what everyone is going to be doing all the time.
All damn day. So like, I don't know. Like, I think I don't know. There's just so much to talk about here. It's like
I know.
I love.
There's so many trends. There's so many
trends.
things to address. I feel like it would be cool to like set a real timeline, but I don't have any legitimate facts. But like, I don't know if you had if you had somewhere you wanted to go with that. But the first thing I can think of after latte art is this whole craze of like ice cream gram. Ice cream gram. Yeah.
Bang bang.
Did you notice? Have you noticed any correlation between
the thing that comes to mind right off the bat, and like this is like obviously Toronto centric, but it like Sweet Jesus, like
the first to do
like,
it really.
They literally killed the game, because it's like, what are they at right now? Like 100 and some thousand followers on Instagram, and it's literally ice cream dipped in cereal or like some other random shit like that, right? It's like the old school soft serve ice cream. It's not even like they're not like, there's nothing fancy going on, nothing like over the top. It's like no organic butter churned ingredients or whatever. It's just like yo, we're just gonna get some basic ass like soft serve ice cream. We're gonna dip it in other sugary substances. And people are gonna lose their fucking minds over it, and like,
I'm on their Instagram account. They have 113K followers.
Shout out to them.
And honestly, like, the feed is unreal. It looks fucking good.
It's immaculate,
and I
right?
don't even like ice cream like that. I'm not a huge ice cream
But
fan.
like when you're looking at it, you're like, I want that.
I could see why people would want that. Yeah,
You could see why
I'm
people
really
would want that.
not one of those
right?
people, but I am slowly, just like I'm appreciating it. They even have a beer. They have a mocha marshmallow stout.
Yes.
Shauna can't have this.
Shauna's not a fan of the stout beers.
No,
but like I'm like the joke to me is that I've had Sweet Jesus like on many occasions. I have yet to finish what I've gotten on any one of those occasions.
Did you enjoy it?
I
Honestly.
don't particularly. I don't even enjoy it that much because it's like too much sugar for me. Like too much sugar just makes my body feel bad. Like I start getting a headache, my stomach hurts. But yet every time I see it on anyone's feed, I like start jonesing to go there. I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta go back there. It's like I don't
have that
know.
new gingerbread house cone with
Exactly.
the
I want the gingerbread
candy cane showers.
I want the candy cane showers. Yo, like I don't like.
Who's feeding
I'm not
your
even,
dog this? You should not be feeding your dog fucking sweet
Yo,
Jesus.
if you're feeding your dog ice cream,
they're gonna die in
you're going
2
to hell.
years.
Like your dog's going to hell first, and then you're following shortly. But like. Honestly, like I'm saying, like this is literally like the crux of Instagram food culture. Like I've already spent a bunch of money there. I know that it's not worth it, but every time I see it, I want it, and like I'm gonna keep going back there.
I don't know what to do about it.
I can't stop it. I'm hooked. I'm visually addicted, and it's like it's just dragging me in there.
There's
and I'm
this
gonna
dude
keep
with like just
going.
like all the muscles, like. It's really just to become a package.
All
like,
the muscles. That's thirst trap.
It's a thirst trap. And you know what it is?
What is it?
If you think about it, like this ice cream has become like a watch, like a fucking Rolex. You know, it makes you look good. Like you're holding it, and people suddenly start thinking all these things about you. Like, oh, she's super fun. He really likes summertime.
Absolutely.
They seem like a good.
They're
time
fit.
to go
They're
out.
fun.
They still have dairy and don't like have vicious diarrhea after. You know, it's like that's not me, okay? I don't want to be like that.
I you know what? That is literally what it is. It's like a small encapsulated piece of your very own FOMO. It's like I want to be, that looks so fucking fun.
Yeah.
And I just want to be in that moment with you eating ice cream with
and as all
candy canes.
FOMO moments, it's not as good as the photo makes it look like.
It's never as good.
Even
how about
when
yeah?
you
How
see
we,
that line, and the line is indicative of some weird like. It's very strange to me. Another example is a Hello Crunch, the spot on Queen across from Trinity Bellwoods, who recently just opened in late 2017.
Yeah.
And you know they took the whole thing by storm. They had these like charcoal ice creams with like the homemade waffle, the cones or whatever.
Right.
And I remember walking by there on the streetcar by there, and I was like, oh, which band is in town? So fucking like, who's here? Like Sting? I don't know. It was like, who's here?
Sting is playing at a tiny venue on Queen Street.
Yeah, that's the only reasonable explanation.
Only thing I could think
And
of.
the whole line was like, it was huge, and people were definitely jonesing. Like they couldn't wait.
Hell yeah.
And they hadn't tried it yet. They had only seen it on other people's
Yeah, they
Instagram.
just see all black ice cream and they're like, oh, that looks like something I have to wait 2 hours in line to get.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get it. Like, again, it's another one of those things.
I haven't had it.
I've had it. It's, in my estimation, it's no better than other ice cream. I'm a huge ice cream fan.
Yeah.
I like
Which is
regular
why,
ice cream.
yeah.
I like that ice cream. It's good. I'm not taking shots over here. But would I wait 2 hours in line for it? It's insane. It's crazy. Like
It's you know what? And it's like partaking in some sort of ritual.
It's a ritual. It's literally a ritual. And
Yeah.
when you're holding up that fucking like all black ice cream cone
In front of the wall.
like the Olympic torch, and then you take that selfie or whatever you're gonna do with it.
You're the winner.
You're the winner.
You're the gold medal winner.
That's
You've
your
won
gold
the
right there.
Olympics.
That's literally your gold right there. As you watch those likes stream in,
Yeah.
all the people commenting.
You're
Oh
like,
man,
oh.
what is that? Where did
You're
you
like,
get
oh,
that shit?
yeah, this feels so good. And then, like, you know, you set the location tag, and then maybe even the account, like, messages you, comments on your photo, being like,
Bam.
thanks for dropping by. And then you're like, oh, like, double. It's like,
I hope you got video. I've never seen a female do that before.
really? I do it at least, like, 4 times a week. Yeah, he
Side
knows.
note.
Yeah, he's
Side note.
like,
That is
I'm sorry.
hilarious. I hope.
I'm
there's video
claiming my
of everything.
space.
Claim it,
As
please.
you said,
claim
I'm
your
claiming my
space.
space.
Claim
This
your
is
space.
what's
Yes. Claim your
happening
space.
here.
I'm not.
I just want to shout out the OG funnel cake.
Yeah.
Yo, funnel cake is
Funnel cakes
another
don't
one.
really
Like
get any love. They do, but like only at the CNE.
they missed the era. Like
Yeah.
if funnel cake just came out now, like they would be shutting shit down. Let's be honest. They're just like ahead of their time with that shit.
Yeah, they should be paying us for this idea because I'm sure in next week there's gonna be a new funnel
A
cake
funnel
shop.
cake pop up.
Yeah, a pop up exactly at I don't know what I don't know.
Here's a question for you. Is it like the food pop up concept? Like I went to a food pop up in the fall with in Kensington. Like Maddie Matheson was like
Right.
just had a pop up for like a week.
What does that entail?
On Augusta? Like it entails you go in. There's like a very limited menu. It's like menu items that are designed like not to be cooked in a real kitchen, I guess. It's like depending on the scenario, it's like varying levels of like overpricedness, and there's like probably some cool fucking visuals
What did you eat
to
there?
go on. I can't remember at all.
It wasn't
was
memorable
like
then.
it was not the most memorable food, but
Was he there?
it was yeah, he was there.
How
he
was that?
talking mad shit. It was like mad funny. Like
Nice.
the dude's like worth the price of admission in itself.
There we go. Yeah.
But like, long story short, like, is like again, like, is food pop up? Is that like a thing that did that exist prior to like
No.
this culture? Like,
No.
I feel like the whole Instagram.
No, because how would they get the word out?
How would you get the word out?
You
Exactly.
wouldn't. So it's only existed since then.
It's-
So, okay, in that sense, it's cool because it opens up doors for like maybe businesses that can't afford a brick and mortar and
Yeah.
are, like talk to other businesses and they're like, hey, let me do this one day. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, sure, why not diversify all
Yeah.
that stuff. That's cool. Yeah, that's a plus.
It's a
But
silver
then-
lining.
Yeah, that is a silver lining. But then I think the downside of all of this conversation that we're having is like I've become so picky because I have all these like it's almost like your notes. You know, like when you're trying to figure out like what is the best way to approach like an essay or something, you have to like do all this pre-research before you make your final decision. And it's
Word.
like Yelp, all these blogs, Instagram of your friends and Instagram, like actual legitimate Instagram accounts, they're providing all this feedback and you're making the decision before you even step into the vicinity of the store.
So break this down for me. Like, for you being a food writer, like how much of this visual component weighs into like your like, first of all, when you actually are in the spot doing a review, like
Yeah.
how much of the visual are you incorporating into your final like opinion of the place? And then second of all, like in terms of just like getting on your radar, like if someone's trying to like get on your radar, like how much I guess impact does that visual component have in terms of getting on your radar?
I think it definitely plays a big part. Like in terms of the radar, even getting through the door
Yeah.
into, you know, our field of attention,
Yeah.
it has to have a potential visual component to it because otherwise how are we going to, you know, say this restaurant has been around for like 30 years and
Yeah.
we're just kind of realizing about it now. Like why should we write about it in this present moment?
Why is it relevant?
Why is it relevant?
Yeah.
Like, is there something here that, you know, is really outstanding that we could pitch to the audience and then they'd be like, okay, this is fresh, as opposed to being like, there is an Italian spot on Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are Italian spots on Lawrence, but like, why is this one the spot to go to,
Yeah,
right? And then once we figured out that component, it's like, what are we selling here?
Mm-hmm.
Then once we go in, I guess it's a little bit less important. Obviously, like, we've settled on the spot. We're already in here. Let's like try and make it work. And then if the food is disgusting, the food is disgusting. If it looks gross, it is what it is. We're still gonna we're not trying to waste time and the entrepreneur's time.
Yeah.
So it's done. It's more so just like, how did you get our attention?
Right.
And a large part of that is like, if you don't have an Instagram following, or if there is no location tag and people aren't tagging their own photos of them being in your restaurant, then that does tell me something.
Oh.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It's
honestly,
truth.
It's okay
It's
if
truth.
the restaurant doesn't even have their own Instagram account.
Oh, is that a good way to duck it? Like, you'd be like, yo, we're too big for Instagram.
No,
like,
well,
forget that shit.
because I get a lot of notifications through my own Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of these businesses are messaging me, and I wouldn't even know you guys existed if you didn't message me. So like, that's a good thing. You've created a very easy platform in which you can contact me directly.
Right.
So that's to their advantage.
Right.
But if they don't have an Instagram account, but they're still popping, I can really gauge how popping they are by the photos other people are posting.
You know it's real.
Yeah, I know they're real
these
ones.
guys.
Like today, for instance, I went to a spot called Saigon Star. In the Chinese community, it's like pretty popular. They're
Shout
known
out Saigon Star.
Yeah, shout outs to Thomas Ha. I actually went to high school with that guy.
Okay.
And they don't have an Instagram account. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
But if you go on their location tag, like endless photos
It's
of
poppin'.
their curry crab, it's popping. Like shit looks saucy. Everything is nice and like it's really it's like literally doused in sauce. It's really nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
Where's
I'm
this
like,
place? Saigon Star.
it's at Highway 7. Highway 7 in
Probably
Richmond.
not gonna make it there anytime.
I mean, there is a
soon.
YRT, so you could take that.
YRT.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
like
what that was. I have no idea what just happened.
Wait, you mean you don't know what the YRT is?
The YRT dance? Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but
you don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's the thing. Anyways, yeah, but like, so you're saying like if no Instagram, but they still have an Instagram presence, that's actually like the highest level you can achieve. Like if you're just like known on social media, but you don't even do shit yourself, you're just like, I'll let the people take care of it.
Honestly, kind of, yeah.
Yeah?
It kind of is,
Word.
yeah. Now that you're mentioning it, like I don't even know if they have a Facebook account or anything, but it has to exist to a degree on the in the consciousness.
You have
on
to
the
exist.
internet.
You have to exist.
You
like,
have to exist.
yeah.
I have to be able to find you.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many now. I have to be able to, at the very least, to find you, and that's like kind of fucked up too.
Yeah.
Is that like if I don't see a single photo of you, there's chances are that you're probably not that great.
There's chances are that it's like not. It doesn't exist anymore. Like I feel like
exactly.
And it, like
yes.
Another thing I noticed in Toronto is like the turnover for these places is mind blowing. Like I can think of locations right now. Like there's a joint on at Dundas and Euclid, and like I've
What's
been
it called?
I can't. It's like chow something. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm not even.
Is it a Chinese restaurant?
It is now, but the point is that like I've been living in that neighborhood for like 4 years, and in that 4 years, there's probably been like 4 or 5 different restaurants in that space, like plus the times it was like vacant. So it's just like the turnover is like mind blowing. Like
I mean, like I write an article every month called 5 restaurants you can buy right now. Or 5 restaurants up for sale right now.
Word.
And it's like, they're not necessarily closing down, but they're either like exchanging leases or like having someone buy out their lease, or like, it's like restaurateur burnout. These people get tired.
Yeah.
And like Toronto is incredibly competitive. And again, there's that Instagram component that makes it extra cutthroat because it's like this new element of like, you suck, you have under 1,000K, you're worthless. And that like pulls into the whole social media like mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like let's get into like what makes food on Instagram popping. Like what let's start with the restaurant. I want to touch on other categories after, but like let's start with the restaurant. Like if you're offering a food service, like what are the elements that you can like take care of to make sure that your social media presence is extra lit?
That's really hard because
it's hard?
I don't know. I think it is hard because for me, my biggest draw is authenticity.
Oh,
so if
okay,
someone is being authentic
yeah.
and how they're presenting themselves, like I don't care what filters you use. Like some of the photos that really good restaurants use. Like they use the really oversaturated shit, and like it just looks corny. But I just
I hate that shit.
Yeah, but I just like them.
Word.
I like their captions. Like I like them as a company. I feel like they say funny shit. 'Cause it's authentic. Because it's authentic. Like if I'm looking at a really pristine feed, but like they have no soul, that's gonna reflect the food.
I feel shame right now because like that's usually what draws me in. Like
a clean
being a visual person, I'm like, if your photos don't look like a pro took them, I'm like, yo, this shit is whack. Get your shit in order. But
it means that there's no young person running their shit.
There's what?
There's no young person running their shit. That might be a big component.
Oh, crazy.
And what do young people know about making food? Actually, they know a lot. But I'm just saying, there's like a...
Ageist.
I am an ageist. I feel like I definitely am an ageist. I think a lot of the best chefs are like old with like withered ass hands.
I mean,
like,
shit, of course. Like.
Yeah. But I'm also just being
experience. It's experience. Like you can't buy experience. But okay, so you're saying authenticity.
What do you think, then?
You're
saying the clean feed really draws you into
like
a restaurant.
that shit. It looks great visually. Like that's the point. Like if it looks fucking fire, like as we were talking about with like Sweet Jesus, like if it looks amazing, I'm gonna get visually hooked, even if I don't really fuck with it. Like that's what gets me about it, you know?
So you're just feeding into the con, like you're cool with it.
I feed into so many cons. I'm literally like the worst person out here. I feed into so many cons. Like I also spend like countless hours on this Instagram account called Food ET, spelled with ET spelled. I'm like ET spelled with like the ET is not a word.
Like
so
elephant.
EATTY, Food EATTY, if you want to check this shit out. And they basically just post like 9 videos a day. It's all trash, and they don't even say where the food is from. No credit is given. No real caption. They don't give credits.
Really? I thought they gave credits.
They don't they credit themselves. They're like, yo, for more ill videos, follow Food ET. Why? Yo, go on it.
I fully thought that they had like the source.
Because I've tried.
I guess they don't want you to know what the thing really is.
Yeah, like, because the only caption, every caption just says yay or nay, and they just post bizarre shit, and then like 9,000 people will comment and just like tear it apart, or in certain situations they'll be like, yo, this looks amazing, I want it, whatever.
At that point it's just mindless. Like there's no thinking involved. You're literally just looking at like a gooey thing and being like, ew.
Exactly.
Or like, yeah.
Which is exactly how we got here. I said I am trash, like I buy into the con, and that's what it is. It's a giant con.
That's the takeaway of the episode. Damien's trash. He's a victim of the food conning system.
I'm a victim of all food cons. But like I can literally
everyone tag him in every Sweet Jesus photo you've ever seen.
Send me your hate mail. Yeah, please tag me in all your Sweet Jesus photos. I would love to see them.
You're like a foodie hype man.
I'm of course I'm a foodie hype man. Like it's like I'm also that guy that wants to go to the new poppin' restaurant as soon as it opens. Like
So you want to go to Pick 6?
Pick 6?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Let's do it. Next episode, foodie road trip.
I'm only going there for the sushi.
Whatevs. I'm down.
Oh my God, we have to go to Pick 6.
Yeah, we do.
Can we bring a mic inside and just kind of like comment on it while we're eating, being like, the sushi is trash?
I don't know. Let's ask the.
Okay, it's happening. Or like secret lav mics.
Shanik said yes.
So now we are ordering the salmon roll.
Yes, let's do that. We'll do a play-by-play. But like, I mean, what is the other one? Like the one, the cheese chicken one. What's that place called? My. Like I literally dropped as soon as I saw your fucking article, I dropped everything. I was just calling people like, are you down? Are you down? The first person that said yes, honestly, I'm like in there.
My arteries have not yet recovered from that, and that was like 2 months ago.
I've been like 3 times. Like that shit is amazing.
Wait, you?
That's what I'm saying.
You've still never been. Oh my God.
And again, it's like
you really like it. You really.
I don't really like it. It's like it's okay. It's okay, but it's so fucking.
We need to send him to some sort of rehabilitation center. Clearly, you're deep in this.
It's so Instagram worthy. Anything James cheese ribs.
Oh,
I've been
God.
there. I've been there a couple times as well. Again, like I don't even get it. Like they come to your table, they cut ribs with scissors at your table, and like.
Real scissors.
They come with scissors. They don't even come with a knife. They come with scissors. They cut the ribs. They wrap it in It's not. It doesn't even taste like real cheese. It's just. It's like kind of chewy and spongy. And then they dip it.
Puke. That sounds disgusting.
And then they dip it in corn niblets. So you're eating a rib wrapped in weird cheese, foam textured cheese dipped in corn niblets. And I've still gone like multiple times. Like I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm in there. Like you had me at hello. Like I'm there. I don't know what to say. Like it's just
you
like
had me at the scissors.
You have.
My gag reflex is like seriously acting up right now. This is just talking about this like cheese.
Instagram food. It's like it's a wild game.
It is.
I guess that's the
takeaway, man.
That's the takeaway?
Some people hate it
game.
or are kind of indifferent, and some people just really, really like it.
But regardless, your life has been changed because of it.
Happy.
Mic drop. I'm out.
One more thing. Where do you guys see it going?
Where do we see it going?
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Okay. Just picks up the mic. Puts it back in.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Drop the mic.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you
walk off stage, come back. Oh, sorry guys. One more thing to say. Yeah, like where I don't know where it can go exactly from here. It's like it's at such a fevered pitch, and then it's just like levels. It's just like I feel like there's this whole social media game, which is kind of like I don't want to be disrespectful here, but I guess it's kind of like the farm system or whatever, and then like because you have this whole like entertainment infrastructure built on food, which is like going back to the superstar chefs TV chefs that started popping off in like the late 80s. So like that, like I feel like that's probably like a great entry point now, is like if you can like crush it on social media, I feel like it's just like being a YouTube star and like jumping into like actual television or movies or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, to me, that would be the logical next step. Like if you can crush social media, can you flip this into like a book deal, a television show, a documentary, whatever, Netflix, like get that Netflix money,
Yeah, get that Netflix money. I think definitely that's going to happen. Yeah. Definitely. And I think like right now I feel as though we're not in a particularly exciting stage of the movement, of the food Instagram movement. Like every restaurant is just basically trying to like one up each other visually. So that's fine. That's normal. Agreed. I think that's going to continue and get like more and more outrageous. And I think more and more restaurants are going to come up with like gimmicks and stuff.
Agreed.
But in the meantime, I think some good stuff will come out of it, as do all like weird fads.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to go away. Definitely. Yeah. We're too like visually hooked at this point.
Yeah. And
hopefully I'm hoping like some collaborations or some sort of just like a new way that people use visual, just photos of food and stuff to just like collaborate and start doing like meaningful shit.
Word.
I think that always happens when you start having like crappy fads. And then just like a few creatives or like a few interesting people just take it and elevate it to another level. Word. And I don't even like have anywhere near of a conception, like an idea of what that could possibly be.
I feel like the challenge has been set, like for me to stop being trash and to like elevate my game to like a place where I can give back, contribute to society in a meaningful way through food.
Yeah, just stop eating that cheesy shit.
Never happened.
All right,
we're out. Peace.